Good evening, everybody. If only we put as much effort into defending our own borders as we are when it comes to protecting Ukraine's. Nearly 600 illegal migrants crossed the Channel yesterday, the highest number for a single day this year. 2,716 of them have arrived so far this year. That's 20% more than at the same point last year. What's Home Secretary Yvette Cooper done? Well, agreed to send even more money to the French. In fact, she's extended that deal until 2027. Oh, but it's on one condition, OK? That they build a £12.5 million migrant detention centre in Dunkirk. Yeah, all right then, they were supposed to do that years ago. It's been held up due to planning rows. I mean, this mythical migrant detention centre was part of the 480 million quid Britain agreed to pay for additional border patrols and surveillance equipment, such as drones and night vision binoculars. Why are we even paying for that? Can't the French afford night vision binoculars? You are paying for 730 of the 1,200 French police officers dedicated to patrolling France's northern border. The French, after all these years, have literally only just passed a law to allow police officers to intercept migrant boats in shallow water. So this whole time, they were operating under a law that prevented them from stopping migrant boats in the water, which is why people smugglers have been putting people in boats in rivers that lead into the Channel, because once they get in those boats, in those rivers, they could not be stopped by French authorities. Does that really sound like the French want to do anything about the problem to you? A convenient law that prevented them from stopping any migrants in the water. Their new detention centre, which Brits have already paid for, can't be built because of planning rows. We even paid for night vision cameras on the beaches that the French installed, didn't turn on, and then when they did, only a few of them worked. Under Labour, the number of migrant hotels has risen by at least 7. I just find it a little bit rich that we see scenes like this. You know, a load of European leaders there talking about our values, protecting Europe from invasion, all of this stuff. And literally, whilst that's happening, boatloads of mostly men from the Middle East and Africa are breaking into Britain. Starmer has formed a coalition of the willing to help Ukraine. All right, OK. Well, maybe we actually need a coalition of the willing to prevent Britain from being invaded as well. Let's get the thoughts of my panel this evening. We, of course, do have Carol Malone there, Daily Express columnist, Susie Stride, Labour Party activist, political commentator, ex-Tory Party chairman, Sir Jake Berry. Carol, I'll start with you. Look, you know, you see some of those stats there. Worst weekend so far this year, 20% up on illegal arrivals, more migrant hotels, etc. Are we being invaded here, do you think?
Yeah, I think we are. You know, the numbers have gone up. As I say, you just quoted the thing there, 20,000 this year under Starmer. It's, you know, it is astonishing, this deal we have with the French. You just mentioned it there. They don't want to stop people coming here. The more they get rid of, the actual better. And I just find it astonishing that we're paying them this amount of money to do nothing. The thing about the stopping in the water now, they can actually stop them when they're in the water. They can stop them on the beaches in France. We've seen the coppers standing, having a fag on the beach, having a chat, while migrants are loading themselves into the boats on the beach. They just need a little bit of a knife to actually puncture the boat. Then the boat can't go anywhere. But there is no will to do that. And I just think, you know, this government talks and talks and talks about stopping the boats. They try to defend their immigration policy, which I've yet to know what it is today, by saying that the Border Security Command is now working. They only appointed the guy 2 weeks ago, and he lives in Finland. So I'm not entirely sure how that's going to work. He says he's going to work from here, but that's how seriously they're taking it.
Yeah, Susie, how do you think the British public should react to this? OK, so more money to the French to do what with? I mean, another way of looking at those 600 people who came across the Channel on Sunday would be to visualise that in terms of hotels. That is probably at least another 2 migrant hotels that have just come across the Channel that we're not really going to do anything about. Do you think this is good enough from Labour so far?
Look, I always say this. It's very, very important that this issue is taken incredibly seriously. The fact is, you know, this is a top issue for people in this country. This is a key issue. It is a key issue in the election. You know, people need to humble themselves and get on and do the job. You know, must be taken seriously. I think it is, when you see stuff like this, it is infuriating. We've paid them to build a detention centre. They haven't done it. I look at that and I'm frustrated.
Right, well, the condition of this next round of money is that you build that detention centre. What makes makes us think they're going to do it this time.
We paid for twice over.
We've paid for it twice.
And look, you know, I'm sure Yvette Cooper is equally infuriated by this. However, I think it's also important to see that in the last, whatever it is, eight months, look, the issue we're in, the situation we're in, it'd be absolutely appalling to blame it all on Labour. Immigration went up treble under the Tories.
Absolutely.
And that's very important to look at, you know.
Go on, yeah.
So the first thing is, I mean, I thought Keir Starmer had a plan. That's what he told the country. So he had a plan to smash the gangs. In fact, the number of people coming over in boats has increased since he abolished all the deterrents like the Rwanda plan and saying to people, I mean, just labelling illegal migration as irregular migration, which seems to be one of the only thing the Labour Party's actually done, doesn't make the problem go away. If they have a plan, it's time that they had a bit of humility and said that that plan is failing. I'm not saying the Conservatives got it all right, but actually when we had all of these deterrents in place, it started to come down. It is now going up. It is going in the wrong direction. And you say, Susie, Yvette Cooper will be really cross that the French haven't built this centre. Well, guess what? I'm cross too.
Yeah,
but I'm not the one handing over another £12 billion of taxpayers'
No, I think it's important
not to do the job.
I think it's also important to point out that deportations have increased under us. Deportations have increased under Labour.
Let us look at those 19,000 deportations. 12,000 left of their own accord. Some of the rest were paid, and there is no fact check anywhere that can tell us that those people were asylum seekers. I really want to know.
3% of them came across in a small boat. Apparently, 3%.
But even so, there's that 19,000 as a farcical figure.
It's a low-hanging fruit.
But we've done a better job than the Tories. Flipping heck, it tripled under them.
No, you haven't, actually, because you haven't.
Well, if you've done such a good job, why is the number of illegal migrants in the hotels gone up by 8,000 since you won the general election? That's not what I call doing a good job.
I don't think you can turn round 14 years, of mess from this lot in 8 months. You just can't. You just
can't.
Why are you
making it worse?
I don't think we are making it worse. I don't think we are making it worse.
Stop blaming the Tories for everything. They said
no, it's context.
They said they had a plan to sort this out. They haven't. Currently, we have 38,000 people in migrant hotels, and they're going to keep on coming. And why wouldn't they? Because there was absolutely no deterrent. You know, they talk about Rwanda being an unworkable plan. It would have been a deterrent had it been allowed to get in. And deterrent should mean in this country.
I mean, I agree.
Can I just finish the point? And what the Tories did put in place was a plan that people who came here illegally would not be allowed to stay. And now they can stay under Labour. So Labour have removed all deterrents.
It's a lot of money, again, to be spent not in Britain, or for people, ultimately, who come to Britain illegally
and are
not
French
British.
for failing. You are rewarding the French for failing. Here's £12 million. You've completely failed. You know, here's some more money to fail again.
It just seems, I mean, there's a lot of people in this country who could really do with that money.
No, look, ultimately, we need to get these numbers down. I don't think it's a great thing that we're handing money here, handing money there, but we're having to do unpopular things to get those numbers down. We've also made deals, haven't we? We've also made deals. We've also made deals with home countries to make sure that, A, they're taking people back, but also that they're doing things to keep people in their countries. That's number one. Number two, we're doing things to crack down on illegal workers, which is a key thing, which is attracting people to come in. So those delivery drivers, when you've got illegal people working here illegally, that is not acceptable, and you need to crack down on that. And so these are key things that we are doing. But I'm sorry, but I will not take lectures from the Tories when the immigration figures trebled under them. Can't have quick fixes.
You had a plan. There is clearly no plan at all.
There is a plan. You can't do it straight away. You can't have quick fixes.
There are other countries that are putting measures in place to deter immigrants. France is one of them. It's actually cut a lot of the benefits down for people coming into the country, which is why they're scuttling over here, because the benefits here are amazing. Fancy coming to a
I'm not against us being tougher.
Let me finish.
France.
So fancy coming to a country where you get to stay in a 4-star hotel that most Brits can't stay in. You get free healthcare, dental care.
Let's let Jake in here now.
Well, look, I think the thing is, Labour say they have a plan. It clearly isn't working. There is going to be a point in time when the Labour Party puts its hands up and accepts, look, actually, it was a bad idea to get rid of the disincentives we had to come to this country. It may be politically convenient at the moment to say that's not what you do. But actually, when you've got a plan, it's completely failing. Numbers are going up. Number of people in hotels is going up. The number of people crossing is going up. The number of people applying for asylum is going up.
I mean, and I just want to say, sorry, Patrick, all of this happened. And I know we keep saying we can't talk about the Tories, but I'm sorry, but I've got a Conservative MP lecturing me,
Susie.
and the numbers went up under them. They didn't go down under them. We've been in for 8 months. And listen, I agree that we need to get the numbers down. You know, I mean, we're not going to win the next general election if we don't get the numbers down. But ultimately, this is we've got to take this seriously. But you cannot.
The Tories had measures in place that were deterrents, and the minute Labour got into power,
Well, they clearly didn't work.
They didn't get work because you're
They were there for 14 years, trebled. Immigration trebled under them. No, because it is important to see that the immigration trebled under
What I don't
them.
understand is why, okay, the previous government, but why this government now doesn't shut down Deliveroo, Uber Eats and Just Eat. Yeah. Shut them down, OK? If any other business in the country was found in one specific survey to be employing 40% of their workforce who they were stopped in the street and were questioned illegally, that business would be shut down. Why is it OK? I'd had a Deliveroo or an Uber Eats, on Sunday, OK? Fatima was supposed to turn up. It was a bloke.
Yeah.
It was obviously not Fatima, OK? And that happens pretty much. I could order one now and someone else turns up. Why haven't we shut them down? Isn't that a statement of intent from the government? Why aren't we going around to every single car wash in the country with an immigration enforcement van and watching them scatter and then say, right, OK, maybe they're here illegally? There is a lot of low-hanging fruit we could be going for. The Tories could have done it. Labour aren't doing it either, are they?
Well, I think, as I say again, I mean, it may well be that we're not moving quick enough. I mean, look, ultimately, I'm not in government myself. I'm getting all these lectures from everyone.
Yeah, no,
do you know what I mean?
But
I think
the Tories could have done that before. Everyone could see that Deliveroo and all of these places, people were not doing it. That is an easy one. And once you see some big companies get hammered, other people are going to be like, oh, flipping out. All right, OK.
We'll just find them.
Yeah, and I think, I mean, maybe, and that could well be a really good idea that they do bring in fines for that, but they are trying to make it tougher so that attraction isn't there.
Making it tougher.
Well, one of the things that they're going to do is also make sure. Yeah, well, the thing is because these things take time, don't they? You can't have quick fixes, you know.
had a plan.
Why didn't they leave the thing in place where it said anyone who comes here illegally can't stay? Why didn't they leave that in place?
I thought Keir Starmer had a plan. He had a plan. He was going to smash the GAMS. They had it all sorted out. It's a fully costed plan.
Going on.
Well, you guys also had a plan, but immigration went up under you.
Hotel stays up. Number of illegal crossings up.
I mean, the thing is look, your guys' record is appalling on this.
We're going to have to knock it on the head there, but I'm really excited for the chat that we're next going to have at 10 p.m. actually, seriously, because there's a lot of stuff going on about Ukraine at the minute, rightly so, all right. But hang on, is this just a very convenient distraction in some senses for Keir Starmer to take people's eyes off the things that we've just been talking about? We'll have a look at that. But anyway,